Welcome back to Face the State. Much has been made of Linda McMahon's experience at the WWE. Do you think that that qualifies her to be a U.S. Senator?
You know, Dennis, ultimately character will be an issue in this race. And
do you think she has good character?
Well, the people of Connecticut have taken their measure of me. They know that I will stand up and fight for them. They know my record. They don't have to rely on my words.
No, I understand you, but I'm talking about her. What do you think?
I think character will be an issue for her as well. People will ask, and they should, what is the business that she's run, and how did she run it? How has she treated the people who have worked for her and their families? And did she put profits over people, particularly the health and safety of people? And those are issues and questions that will be answered in the course of the campaign, and people rightly expect that they will be answered.
Do you think she did put profits over the people, employees?
I'm going to leave those answers to the people of Connecticut, but I think there are questions that she'll have to answer, and we'll be able to judge as we go along what her record is.
But you have never, your office has never investigated the WWE, correct?
I'm not going to talk about what my office has investigated or not.
So you think it's possible you have investigated?
If there has, no, I'm not saying it's possible or not. I'm just not going to talk about investigations by any authority, whether it's my office or any other that concern the issues or politics of this race.
We're told that they've never been the subject of an investigation by the Attorney General's office, and you're saying it's, but you're not ruling it out.
I'm not commenting one way or the other, Dennis, and I cannot comment given that we've never had any action. I can't go back to the time that my predecessors were Attorney General, and I think for me to even imply, and I don't want you to imply that there's been an investigation, would be incorrect.
Let's talk about some other issues here. If you're elected and President Obama says to you in January, you know, Dick, we need another stimulus plan, another multi-million-dollar plan, would you vote for it?
I would vote against anything like the bailout program. I opposed it.
I'm talking about the stimulus program that was...
And I would vote against a stimulus program that was structured incorrectly, in my view, to fail to provide infrastructure support. I think providing money that goes into paychecks is tremendously important. Paychecks that involve rebuilding roads and schools and other kinds of structures that create consumer demand. And too much of the past stimulus plans have gone to other purposes where they fail to provide this so-called stimulus. I think infrastructure is a proper use of these funds.
If Senator, would you have voted for the most recent stimulus package?
I would have voted against the bailout program, and I would have voted against the stimulus package as it was structured.
In Litchfield today, this Thursday, we tape on Thursdays, according to the Torrington Register Citizen, you said, quote, we need to go after employers that put illegal aliens to work. As you know, in the city of New Haven, they have ID cards for illegal immigrants. Do you think it's easy to find out where they work because they have bank accounts now and the whole bit? Do you think that the state or the city should be going out and cracking down on these companies?
The federal government has the responsibility for immigration reform, and the state has responsibility for enforcing the labor laws. And both of them should crack down on exploitation of people and hiring of illegal immigrants.
So a restaurant in New Haven that hires illegal aliens, should the state go after them right now? Whoever can go after them, should they go after them now?
Well, the state doesn't have the enforcement responsibility at the present time. They would have to train the state police and divert them for that purpose, and that would be a decision made by the governor as the commander of the state police, not by me as a United States Senator. But
would you encourage them?
If there is evidence that any business is hiring illegal aliens, there should be investigative steps, whether by state or federal authorities, and there should be appropriate prosecution of the employers.
Richard Blumenthal, candidate for the U.S. Senate. Nice to see you. One last question. Will you debate Mrs. McMahon in the fall if she's the nominee?
If she's the nominee, and we do not know yet whether she will be, I will certainly debate her.
Good enough. Mr. Blumenthal, thank you very much for being on the program.